So, what's good? It's your boy Wild. And now's the time to just really follow your heart. Like, whatever it is that you feel like you want to be doing, like, do it. Follow your heart. Like, when people talk about fuck the system and when people talk about revolution and all this stuff, I feel like a lot of times what people forget, to talk about maybe is like a big part of revolution is the individual really rethinking and reimagining their purpose and like who they are. So that's something that I've been working on recently. Like I grew up in the suburbs of Richmond, Virginia, and Midlothian, Virginia. I've also lived out in the boonies. And right now I'm living in like a city area ish, and then I'll probably be somewhere else. And it's like I have had the blessing to literally live at one point in the suburbs, city, in the country. And by saying that, it's like I know who I am. Like regardless of where I go, regardless of who I'm around, like I'm growing steadily by the moment into an awareness of like how I present myself, how I express myself is an authentic expression of my soul. So like everybody as an individual in their physical body, your body is a gift. It's a blessing. It's a blessing from God. It's a blessing from Source, from Jah, from the universe, from Goddess. Like, so we have these opportunities in these bodies to create and to innovate like never before. And I consider myself like this is like the new frontier, bro. And like I consider myself somewhat of a pioneer, as we all are. And like a little bit about me, I mean, I've lived out in the woods before in Virginia. Like I was roughing it out there for a few weeks, months off and on after I graduated from college back in like 2016. And it was mainly because I did that because I always felt inside of me that there was more to this reality. I had these beliefs for so long, but recently, within the past few years, I started really questioning, okay, like who am I really? Like these beliefs when it comes to like politics and social things, are they actually mine? Or are they just coming from my parents? Were they coming from the media? Were they coming from everyone around me, from what everyone perceived as the route that I should go, and from what everyone perceived I should believe in? And I was internalizing all that. So that's the challenge of the decade, of the era. We have these beliefs, each and every one of us have these beliefs that have been programmed to us, that have been passed down to us, that have been conditioned in our subconscious from this system. But even on a deeper note, though, it's like our lives, what we have perceived as normal for so long, have been orchestrated by beliefs, by a narrative written and created by other people. So, like, usually how it is, this idea, perfect example I can think of off the top of my head, is this idea of the American dream. It sounds like a groovy thing. It sounds like it'd be cool, right? But the thing is, whether or not it really exists or not, whether or not it really is attainable or not, it's an idea that was passed down from outside circumstances, from external sources. So at one point, maybe it was a president, or maybe it was some dude in a powdered wig, or just somebody in history was like, this is the American dream. So they told their kids that, they told their grandkids that, and then everybody else did that. You just had all these people who were like, oh, well, this is what success is. You just work hard, you go to school, and you can attain your best material life. Like, so over time, there was a period of time when we just like took this for granted. Like we perceived it being set in stone. So we perceived it being set in stone. We just like, each generation, we passed this idea of the American dream, and we just like internalized it without questioning it. We're like, okay, yeah, the American dream. I'll be miserable. I'll work my ass off. I'll do all these things I don't want to do because I'm told that that's what I'm supposed to do to be happy in life, even though there's part of me that feels like I'm wasting my time and that feels like shit. But because I was told by my parents and by everybody that I was felt like I could trust, I figured that this must be the way to happiness. Fast forward to now, myself and a lot of people realize that this idea isn't our own idea. And no one is better than anybody else. I don't give a fuck who says what. So everything that we see as normal now was created by other humans at some point in history. And they created it from the perspective of they thought that's how society would be best led and best maneuvered at that time from their understanding, from what they created. So everything we know is a social construct, whether it is even our perception of race, gender, like all that shit is a social construct. Everything that we see as normal in this society right now is a social construct. So we have this opportunity now where clearly things aren't working. Clearly people want something different. We want something new. So my thing is, the first step to really creating something new and to really going about embodying something new, which is way more than possible. Like, it's totally possible. But I feel like, in my opinion, the way that we do it is not to be just venting impulsively out in the streets. The way to do that is to literally go within and to really investigate yourself, investigate what you believe, investigate where those beliefs come from. And really, you can even put your hand over your heart and really be like, yo, like, what is it that I want? Because your heart has an electromagnetic field. This is recent research that came out by the Heart Math Institute. Check it out. Just like the brain has its own electromagnetic field, its own way, its own intelligence, the heart has its own intelligence. So my thing is, we throughout history, we have been forced to really just think, to be in our minds. And because of that, we engage in war. We engage in these cycles of savagery and violence because our hearts haven't been activated. But once we really activate our hearts, once we sit with our hearts, once we invite compassion and empathy in our own lives, we then will begin to realize, like, yo, I am a human and so is this person. We are all connected through the bridge of love that is the heart. Like, the heart is like the gateway, in my opinion, of like being in this physical realm, connecting the soul, the mind, body, spirit, and soul through the heart. So it's like we have this opportunity to create a new world from the heart. And when anyone sits with their heart, that's when they can tell what they want. Your heart will know what you want. If you feel, if you're talking about something or thinking about something and you feel like restrained and contracted by it, the chances are that's not for you. But if you feel something that where you feel like light and you feel expansive and you feel like, oh, this may feel right, go with that. Because we've been trained in the society that, oh, well, if we do feel this feeling of calmness and like, oh, this is right, we're trained in our mind to be like, have that cognitive dissonance and be like, no, that's not right because that's not what society, that's not what everyone else has been telling me I should do. But that's bullshit. And now in 2020, this is the age of unprecedented freedom. And through that freedom, through that liberation that our ancestors, that everybody's ancestors, that every revolution ever throughout history in every country wanted was freedom, was liberation for the people, bringing it back to the populace. We the people. And bringing it back to the people, it's like, yo, we're individual people, but we're also a collective. So isn't it fair? Isn't it justice? Isn't it fair for you to begin this process of really being like, what do you want? Don't listen to the mob. Don't listen to what everybody else is saying. They don't fucking know you. It begins with, what do you want? What do you need? Sit with that. Sit with your heart. Because from there, that's when we can actually start creating a new reality, a new paradigm, and implementing it through constructive, creative action. When we really know ourselves and we really can discern, okay, this is what I want, this is what I don't want. But otherwise, if we're just listening to the news, if we're just listening to these leaders and their fucking ties, and we're just listening to these politicians, and we're just listening to people who we think are better than us, who we've been trained to think that are better than us, we're not going to go nowhere. Because the fact of the matter is, friend, even if you didn't go to college, even if you didn't finish middle school, if you didn't finish school at all, if you didn't ever go to school, if you never read no book, it's okay. It don't make you less than nobody. You matter. Your life matters. So don't listen to these people who try to bring you down and who try to say just because you don't have a degree, just because you don't have this and that woody woo, that you're shit. You're not shit. They're just insecure. And now's the time for you to know that your life matters, your opinions matter, your beliefs matter. Sit with your heart. Ask yourself what you need, what you want. And then from there, cultivate, take action. Literally, there's no wrong answer. It's an unprecedented age, baby. This is the new frontier. Now is finally the time for each and every human to really step in to their power and to liberate themselves internally. And then from there, we the people, we are creating something new, something fresher that allows us all to live in harmony, in peace, in balance, in cooperation with each other, with all life, with all plants, animals, humans. We are a cosmic family. We are interconnected. It's all in that sacred loop, baby. So yeah, that's all I think I'm going to say for now. Just know that you matter. Question everything. And just know that your wildest dreams are more than capable of coming true. All you got to do is literally believe in yourself and let go of those beliefs that were inherited by other people that don't know who you are. Much love.